Okay, hi. Welcome to One Page Story Extravaganza. I'm starting like a minute early. I do things like that. I'm a rebel. I'm a loner, daddy. I'm a rebel. Okay, so let's switch a goo around here. Couple things. I've got the standard hello. If you have a one-page story idea, feel free to put it in the comment below the video, right here in the chat. But that's how we do. Okay, let's switch cameras around. Hi, why yeah, those things. This is what you get. Anyway, so this is today's page that I've posted up there. The suggestion came from Chester P. It was a scary story from childhood. So this is what we did. I know I was away on Friday, but these things happen. So what I did instead was come on Friday night, and we started drawing on jelly-plated paper. It's not, actually. I am telling you fibs. We started drawing on the paper that I roll out the paint on with the brayer when I'm making jelly-plated paper beside it. So I saved those papers. I don't have any to show you right now. I think I might have one. I might. We'll see. I have to look. Because my granddaughter... oh, no, I do have one. So I'll show you that. This is what I'm talking about. So this is the paper that I roll out the brayer on as I'm doing the jelly plating. So I drew today's page on that, and the original still in the scanner. So okay, so the topic was childhood story from a scary story from your childhood. Thank you, Chester B, for that. Listen, we got a ton of story ideas from the London Comic Con, and so what I've done is that I've gathered, them all, and I've got them in a bin. And so I pulled one out just before the stream. What does it say? Matthew the Griffin, or maybe that's his last name. A person discovers that they are just like a famous superhero in many ways. That's fun. I don't generally do. I gotta take my jacket off. I don't generally do a lot of superhero stuff, and it's only because, well, what do you do with that, right? And there's got to be some new takes, some new modern twists on stuff. That is a modern twist. The person discovers they're just like a famous superhero in many ways. That's a lot of fun. So that allows us to contextualize: is this a world full of superheroes, or is are they real or not in this contextual reality? So thank you, Matthew, for that suggestion. That's what we're working on today. Anyhow, so the page that you see before you is in pencil crayon, except for the large black field and the crisp whites I put down with the paint marker. Just because the paper itself is heavily friscollated because of the roller. And so I'm going to switch to the overhead and the overhead camera, and I'll show you specifically what I mean. There we go. So brace yourself. Okay, so this is the overhead camera, and you can see what I'm talking about with this crazy friscollation of value as the roller goes over. Of course, it's not a solid amount of material on the roller or the brayer, whatever you call it, and so it transfers out in this wonderful splashy way. And this is the sort of material that I drew today's page on. So that's why you get these wonderful gradients inside each of the colors. Now I'm not pressing really hard, and that might be part of the reason why that pulls out that way. But either way, I'm pretty pleased by it. So okay, so listen, talking about jelly plating. I've come to the realization, I've come to the discovery that, sorry, I cut my cheek last week shaving, and so this is why Chris is growing in the grizzly mustache. And as soon as this heals up, this is going. So Lori's not a big fan of me on facial hair, so I'm a big fan of Lori. Okay, so some of the stuff that I've got through jelly plating and some of that is some fun little textures like this. And it's a rather unsuccessful transfer. Now, I realize that if I just let it sit for another minute more, it's going to be a more successful transfer. I realize that. Somebody was asking me about this in a DM. The reason that I don't is because I don't want a successful transfer for the most part. I want the suggestion of images, but not to be lockstepped into this predominant image taking up the entire surface. Because when I'm doing these one-page stories and I'm using something like this as the background, and the surface that I'm working on, and some of it can be implemented into a panel, I don't want the whole thing to be done as a photo collage or as the replication of other pre-existing images. I want to take this part of it and work that in. So, I mean, you can see how I can cut a panel over here and cut a panel up into this part, and lock out some of that, or I can have this panel. This is a large panel here, but there's, have this be suggestive of a different perspective of the same background now, because I can switch that. So that's why I'm not overly concerned about it being this beautiful representation. I like the messy, chunky, sloppy part of it. And also, I forget a lot of times what the source image is because of this. And so, like, look at these cool cranes. That's something for me to build up as a panel in and of itself. But here's, like it says, deep sea ver. I don't know. But that looks like I think it's a diving helmet. I don't know. Point is, I can make it a spaceship. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. I get to do with it whatever I will. So that's why these are a little more haphazard. And I do them on heavy cardstock so I can really work them. No idea what the original image is for this. It's just squares. Squares are fun. Squares give us lots of avenues. I mean, this could be a page of every one of these little squares is an image. So, that's having a lot of fun. Oh, what do we got? Hi, Christopher. Janet finished early. That is a cool jelly pull. I'm having a lot of fun with these. I'm not sure which one you were looking at, but like I was saying about how they're not very strong established images, but that's kind of the point, so that I can work them into whatever I want. But thank you, BB. That's very nice. And here's another one. Now, this is what I talk about when it gets to be too precise, is that you sort of get lockstepped into it. And that's not fun. We all love your zines. Oh, excellent. Great. I'm glad everybody likes those. Yeah, I made it. Hi, Rachel. I like that black and white one. Yeah, me too. But the City Street, this one here, there's a lot of fun that can be made from that. I was talking about how you can do a panel out of this, but if you incorporate this part, you can alter the perspective of the panel. So anyways. But this one is a little too clearly defined for me. And so I want to try to stray away from that, because it sort of just feels like it's already an established thing. But that's okay. You can still rework all of this and, put panels in here and panels in here, whatever you need to do. So I couldn't tell you what that is. And look, they're building or it's a burned out church. I'm not sure. So anyhow, that's this, Jess. Now I was, and then this is the page again I showed earlier, that this is what the page that I posted for today. Rachel says, oh, wow, that red one would be a great castle one-pager. Yeah, I think so. Hi, Paula, welcome aboard. So this is the brayer. I roll it out on this cardstock, this craft paper, and it gives me that pattern so that I can use that surface to do things like I did here today with the pencil crayon over top. So that's fun in the sun. It's Paula's first time here. Oh, you're one of us now, Paula. Okay. So something I've come across, and I got some typewriter paper, I still call it. I guess it's photocopier paper, printer paper. Can't believe I still want to call it typewriter paper. And then this is a cardstock, a white cardstock. So I've also got some different colored sheets and of cardstock here. Here's some more images of that. This is when I started working, putting some cars in. I don't know what it was originally, but the Race Is On piece was stuck on there. So I think maybe it is a junkyard lot, but I want to make pretty cars on a highway out of it. And then this one's Crazy Town. I don't know what it is, but there's a face, so we'll go with that. And then there's the couple of random ones like the worlds and the patterns. So we got all those surfaces to work on. Anyhow, these are pieces of cardstock and different colors and white and some foolscap paper. Now, today's suggestion that I pulled out of the bucket from the London Comic Con and all the people that gave us suggestions there. I still don't know how many it is because I haven't taken them out to count them. But the suggestion for an idea today is a person discovers that they are just like a famous superhero in many ways, which is kind of fun because, I mean, it could be a kid relating a story about their favorite superhero and how they're just like me. So you can do with that sort of primitive children telling a story aspect, or it can be somebody that might not be aware of the fact that they are that superhero, and get into the psychopathy of that. There's just so many things that a person discovers that they're just like a famous superhero in many ways. So there's different avenues, different directions we can take with that. It's like Hotel California. You can never leave. You can check out anytime you want. I'm checked out half the time myself. Didi says, I like those colors, the red, black one. Yeah, it's rich, isn't it? It's so much so that what am I going to do with that? I don't know. So, but there's a fantastic bunch of little pieces in there. I think there's a crowd up here. I don't know. Again, I'm just ripping pictures out of magazines, shoving them on the jelly plate when it's got pigment on it, and pulling it. So, because, it's just about figuring it out as I go anyhow. So, what? Not a senior citizen realizing they're a superhero? That's a fun idea too. That's what I'm talking about. And Dee Dee says, it looks like a Halloween skull to me. Excellent. See, that's the thing. You can look at images like that and pull out whatever you need. Okay, so here's what I found out. Okay, now there's a couple. I've been looking at some people that are doing different printmaking techniques with lino cuts, jelly plates, and lithography, and are incorporating all of these things across. And the one thing that this lithographer likes is the complication of working on stone with your lithography as well. Fine art, but there's so many methods that we can implement now that are a little more accessible. And jelly plating, I think, may well be taking the printmaking industry by storm, because I mean, you can jelly plate images on the t-shirts at this point. So fun in the sun. Anyhow, one of the things that he was talking about is that let's get a serious pen out. That will do. And one of the things he was talking about is that ink has oil in it. And so because of this, you can draw on paper and ink and make your scribbles and do whatever, but then you can actually pick it up onto your plate. So that if you sit down with some different inks, and I've pulled out a whole bunch of jazz for us to try. So I thought that'd be fun. Anyhow, I've pulled out a bunch of different things for us to try, but you can do whatever your images are. In this case, we're going to try to illustrate this one-page story. And then I'm going to try to transfer it. Now, I'm going to transfer it, I think, with that sienna red, this rich red brown. And the reason that I'm going to try to transfer it with that is that it is still somewhat translucent enough. It's dark and it's rich, so that it should pick up whatever. But if I do this with a yellow, and it doesn't take for this idea that I have, I'll still have the original cardstock or carbon paper image, so that I haven't lost the one-page story that we've decided to draw. But because it's ink, the idea is that you can pick it up with the jelly plate and transfer it over to another surface. That's the theory. He's shown examples of it on a few things. What's his name? I can't remember. I didn't even save his channel like a ding-dong. So I'm hoping to come across this some more. I'm going to be looking into it. I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff. Neat idea with the jelly plate. Oh, yeah, thank you, Paul. That's very nice of you. Yay Art Junk. Sorry, supplies. Yeah. Lori got me organized. So if you look back here behind me, look at the labels. There's labels. Oops. My pen looks massive. There's labels. Also, up in the corner, it's the Electric Mayhem from the Muppet Show. You're right. So now I've got my jelly plate stuff in tubs, and everything else is in tubs, and nothing wrong with that. So okay, so I've got some surfaces down here. A person discovers that they are just like a famous superhero in many ways. So, all right, Janet. No, I'm sorry, Rachel. Rachel has said that hold on, I'll pull it up. It says, what? A senior? No, not a senior citizen realizing they're superhero? Well, you're going to realize that that's the case now. So, just, I got this random book. I love books like this. Okay. It's just photographers taking pictures of humans in New York. And it's just random pictures over and like throughout the book, and of just some of the outfits and some of the characters you see on the street. I like me some stuff like that. Look at these two twins. That's fantastic. Whether they are twins or just a couple gals dressing the same on the street, I don't know. No. Anyhow, so stuff like this is fantastic. I kind of want to rip this book apart. I'm going to be honest. And the reason that I kind of want to rip this book apart is to see if I can transfer some of these. The lady's nice too, sure, but I want this. Look at that. That's a big statue. Don't fill that in. I know what it is. American people. It's a statue of Liberty. I get it. It's wonderful. Look at this guy's jacket. All right, that's what we're using. Good decision making, folks. Humans in New York, a whole new concept. Howdy! I don't know if that's how you said it, but that's how it goes in my head. All right, so because we've got this, so I can do this. The person discovers I'm just like a famous superhero in many ways. So right away, as soon as you find a crazy image like that, and this is just a character who dresses this way in the West Village of New York. So as soon as we got an image like that, well, it sort of informs us already of where we can go with some of the story, right? Now, if I so I'm going to try drawing it just in my very serious pen. Whee! I also have a very serious pencil. Good day. How's it going, eh? That's how I sound when I hold that, so I better set it down for now. Look at that. This is from when one of the kids went to Fanshawe College. So we're just going to draw this character. Now, I'm not sure. I'm going to do it on the cardstock to start with, because I'm not sure. Well, you know what? Let's try it. We'll try it on the copy paper. So I've got this board, right? Yeah, right. So be positive. I've got this board. I'm going to draw some of the stuff on here, and then we can transfer whatever we want. And so what I'm going to do after I get all these images down is try to jelly plate it. And then maybe we can pull two narratives out of that. One, because they're going to be reverse images of each other. So, with that in mind, I mean, it sort of lets us understand that the first image that we have and the second image that we have are not going to be the same. So I'm trying to keep the line art somewhat simplistic. And the reason for doing so is that I want it to be able to be picked up without all kinds of little fiddly business. I say that, I'm going to. Okay, what do we got? Jim says, howdy doing? Who needs a telephone booth with a coat like that? Oh, yeah, this is his Clark Kent persona. You got to see him as a superhero. Spinning without working, Christopher. Jimmy James, good to see you. Okay, so, all right, so we've got the eye in here. And so yesterday, personal update. Yesterday, we went to Niagara-on-the-Lake and with some family, and that's over here visiting us from the Netherlands. So it was a lot of fun. We had a good time. Every second store on the street that we were on in Niagara-on-the-Lake, the main street, sells maple cookies and maple sugar everything. And I didn't buy any of it because, I don't. And I have been hankering maple cookies ever since. So thanks a lot, Niagara-on-the-Lake. Also, that's where I got this sassy pen, eh? Like, check her out. She's a beaut. I don't ever want to use that eraser, by the way. Rachel says, Paula, unless you've not realized it yet, it can get a little crazy in here. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about my self-image, so let's have some fun. So I'm going crazy with the lines because I want to see what picks up and carries over. So we're going to do a rather simplistic line drawing approach to this, and that way, ideally, it's going to transfer. Now, I say that, but at the same time, I'm going to do some texture stamping on it and more. But I want to separate it from just a realistic depiction of the source material. Got to try different things, and so that's why I'm forcing myself to draw this really loosely with a simplistic line approach and not being too concerned about it. Sometimes you just let go. Made the ear too small. So, all right. So we're going to get our stylish Clark Kent in here. This is one of those things where an image like this of this fella is so counterintuitive to be the person describing, or today's suggestion of a person discovering that they are just like a famous superhero in many ways. And that's from Matthew. So I'll put it here like I usually do. I'm sorry. Okay. Rachel says, what? You're in the same district and didn't wave? Shame. I was shouting your name in the streets. I was just walking around yelling, Rachel! Yeah. Question of the day. Have you ever bought something really expensive online to be delivered? Or do you only do that in person? Yes, and I didn't enjoy the experience. What, Jim, like a car? Which was about a computer printer from the shopping channel. Not disappointed. iPad, iPhone. Hi, Christy. Okay, so yeah, it's a fun question. Question of the day. Have you ever bought something really expensive online to be delivered, or do you only do that in person? So, good question, Jim. And if everybody that is here is not familiar with Jim Lewindsburg, please go check out his channel. He's a brilliant animator. I like what he does. He does some good stuff. So, fantastic. About 30 projects under his belt now. Brilliant musician as well. Does all the music for his projects himself. So, yeah. Love it. Pure creative. And questions of the day for us. So, it's not that bad. Okay, so I'm just goofing around with some line art and not being overly particular about this. But this way we get to play with this and see what we can make out of it. And so the reason that I'm drawing large and the reason that I'm drawing simplistic today, as opposed to, more detailed and complicated like I normally do, is that, hold on, let me grab something. I'll show you this. I didn't show you the one for today. There's a term that I've heard a lot lately called fussy cutting. Fussy cutting, fussy this, fussy that, fussy everything. I like that term. So here is the original art for, I'm going to hold it up. Here we're coming up. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about the first collation of the surface because of the rare rolled paint that this is drawn on. So this is fussy. This is not. Okay, now that we've established that. The reason that I'm working fast and really loose and messy and sloppy is that we are eventually going to try to transfer all of these things. So we're just building it up and putting some stamps and some mess and having some fun and on to the next image. And so when I get enough of these together, we'll see what we got. But for right now, I really just want to get it rolling. The reason that I'm drawing on the board surface with a single piece of copy paper is because of this. I don't know if you can see this or not. I don't think it's picking up at all. But there's marks in the surface. And so hopefully that's going to pick up on some level. So I've got some ink in the jar. I've got some stamp ink. I've also got some speedball printing ink that we can roll on here as well. There we go. We got a nice blue for that. That goes a long, long way. And fun Bombay Indian green. Now the realization that whatever paint color that is used for the transferring is going to break all of these different values of blue into one flat tone. Okay, so this part of what color of things are kind of doesn't matter, but kind of does, because we can have two sources here. We've got the original art in the narrative that that tells, and then we've got the transfer, which will be reversed imagery for the jelly plate and images that that tells. So, fun. Wow. Whole lot of stuff. I'm sorry I'm not keeping up. Dee Dee, would you ever buy a car sight unseen, online only? I don't have a horror story of online purchasing because I'm a cheapskate. I had to wait for my new banner that just came in, and it was supposed to be here on the Tuesday, and it arrived on the Thursday, I think it was. And the convention that I needed it for was on the Friday, so you can imagine that was fun. But that's only like $400, and that's still, I am a cheapskate. Christie's went back to work last Monday, worked for 3 days, and got put on a furlough. Oh my goodness, that's rough. So now I get to play with y'all. Oh, excellent. Good or bad. Costco, you can buy cars online. That is insane. Costco can also let you buy caskets, by the way, in the United States. Going to the world of the semi-retired. I'm trying to get my channel up and going again. Excellent. That's excellent news. Okay, so we've got our fancy person, and we've got our different things to use. And I've got the old standard sloppy brush. So I'm going to just pick out some blue and rough in some of this background stuff. And you know what? I can draw let me draw the cab and so on and so forth. Just put that in roughly here. Again, not overly concerned about exactness in here. We're just drawing in shapes. seeing what it gives us. Kind of like the fun, loose aspect to it, because it just takes any of the sweat and stress out of it, that's for sure. You don't have to be particular, you don't have to be specific about stuff, you can just give it a go, have some fun. But we're just going to put some more shapes in here and have some fun with those. The ink stage, and then we'll see what picks up and what doesn't when I start doing this jelly clay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to that stuff today, but we're going to get a bunch of stuff ready for us to try that. And then I'll try to shoot it as video, right? So we'll see what we can do. But I was really excited to see all these different zines that people are doing for the zine swap on Janet M. Young's channel. If you didn't get a chance to watch that, please do. And Giddy had a cool stream this morning as well, with some giraffes. The giraffes. Okay, so here's really rough and messy, but rough and messy is fun today. So, yay, rough and messy. I'm missing stuff. I'm sorry for that. When he removes that coat, I bet he finds a superhero costume. Slow down. Spandex tops and a crop top. Spandex pants and a crop top. Maybe. Rachel, have you been looking? Anyways. So we're just going to throw some really light blue in the background here. Well, we'll see how light it stays. And yes, that's not very light. So the reason that we're doing this is to just add something to the image that maybe gets picked up. I'm also going to stamp on here as well. I'm not overly worried about what it is that we're putting down, because that's kind of not the point. Ideally, when it gets transferred, it's going to diffuse some of this in the first place, so that it gives us little interesting things to look at. So putting the ink in there so I can thin it out just a tiny bit. Okay, and then we've got to do his leopard business, or tiger bill. What is it? Which has stripes? Kitties. All right, forgive my messiness today, everybody. Just wishful thinking. What ink is this you're using now? So I've got regular old ball pen, and now I've got a Winsor and Newton ink. And I don't believe it's an acrylic base. I think it's just your standard old ink. You guys. I'm going to give this poor fellow a complex. He's not even going to want to take off his jacket. So the stamp ink that I'm going to be using is to just give us a little bit more texture. The differentiation in the stripes is to show the movement in the folds, right? And a really simplistic way of doing it. So now, I like the attitude the most. I think is what really sells it for me. Okay, build it off for a sec so I don't spill it. Ghetto man. Mr. Rachel. Paul says, nice color. Yeah, lots of blue. Lots and lots of blue. Dryish. So this is a Craft Smart Pigment ink pad from Michaels, and it really is just fun little bits of additional texture to put in this planar surface here of the buildings. And I guess the car too. So here's our first image, and as you're, like I usually say, as you're working on your there it is. As you're working on your image, it sort of allows you to consider some of that narrative. So I really might. Is this the black or the blue? It's the black. Okay. I want the blue. I want to keep everything blue. But I also want to keep everything ink. So, all right. What do we got? Paul, are you going to do Inktober? Yes, I am. I'm going to do Inktober. Hi, Miriam. Hello. This is No Fear Art. Oh yeah, I'm not. I'm never afraid of what I'm doing. I'm just making a mess. Gotta have fun with the mess. Okay, so I've got this ink down here, and I'm gonna come in on with probably need to put some more on that. Yeah. This is my pattern from the paper towel that we're going to put down just to make it a nice different texture than that. So there's our first image. Okay, so story idea: a person discovers that they are just like a famous superhero in many ways. So I suppose we need to put a superhero on somehow, some old fashioned way, and that's fine. We'll do that, but we're going to keep this cat kicking around. Yeah, I don't know. A picture of somebody swinging? The hell with it. Let's just draw one. All right. There we are. Here's our pen again. So we've got this. This technically got a border to it, a suggested border to it. But let's play with this. Let's do our super dude. I'm working on this hard surface so that hopefully some of these marks that I'm making are going to have some impact on the surface. So I'll do our super guy flying along and the super arms out. Nice little silhouette of it. Ideally, I'd come in with like a white ink and blast that out, but we can do that digitally. So here's our dude. Scribbling as we go. And then we'll put some directional lines in there. So as he's explaining in these areas that we've left for text, the comparison to this guy that we're seeing in the silhouette, and then we can mess with this a little bit. See, I wish I hadn't put all the blue down. Okay, so I'm going to mess with this image a little bit by bringing him into clouds in this section here. So some blue up on that sky. Good enough. And then we'll put shot of the land below. Sorry, I'm not checking out chat. Like I said earlier, I'm just working silly fast today. I don't know if this is going to pick up, so this is our test to see if it does. So here's this panel structure that we put here for him to fly in. And then in this panel, we're going to do our big superhero guy pose. I need my knights. Part of the square table. This isn't Arthur and Camelot reference. You guys are crazy. Okay, so person discovers they're just like a famous superhero in many ways. So one of the things that we can do is comparison, right? So as we do this image, one of the, there's a couple different avenues that we can do it with. We can continue this bleed over. Okay, and then we can run so we'll just put in a little bit of the details on that street. A little more clearly. Carry that over here. And we'll see if this picks up or not. So I'm just going to do crazy crosshatch and see what comes out of it. Now, my intent for the next panel is what I was talking about a second ago by comparison. And what I mean by that is if he is saying, discovers that they're just like a famous superhero in many ways, so let's relate the two to each other. And one of the ways that we can do that is by having our superhero in a pose, whatever elaborate position that they're in, and then we're going to mirror that. I'll move over to a second sheet, and we'll mirror that with him in the same pose. Or we can do it the other way around, whatever you would prefer. So let's, now Rachel had said, thank you for the unintentional ASMR. You're welcome. How you doing, Yvonne? Good to see you. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do the reveal. So Rachel said underneath his outfit, spandex pants and a crop top. Okay, that's our outfit. He's a different one. So we got our guy, and we're going to rough him in. So let's give him a smile this time. Because he's proud, he's pleased with his outfit. I'm giving him the crazy glasses, because I'm not overly concerned about this. We're just making lines to see if this process works with jelly plating. So let's see what we got. Bridge in these glasses. So we're going to get more of that neck in now. And then we'll get the collar is going to open up and drop down on the shoulder. His hand is going to, there's his thumb. And his fingers are going to peek over the sides. Sorry, I don't know. My brain tractors through the image, and just so in my head, I'm thinking about this part where his hand is before I'm thinking about actually drawing the fabric in. Sorry if that's confusing. So we've got our stripes. Am I missing stuff? Yeah, so I'm thinking of doing Inktober. I'll just post 2 images each day. And hey, Gary, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Mr. Hodges, Mr. Hodges. And of course, no glasses. Oh no, he's got to wear his glasses. People need glasses. I need glasses. Why not have superheroes with glasses? Okay, so we're opening up his outfit, and so now we're going to have our not necessarily jacked up guy as he's revealing his superhero gear. And then we'll put, anybody got a slogan for the t-shirt? Something clean, like some sort of 1980s reference on his tube top? Oh, I got it. It's okay. I got something. I'm going to put, let's get physical. Not every superhero has to always wear the same leotard. It's a different kind of hero we're making today. Oh, great fun to watch the inside of Christopher's head appear on paper. That's a scary, scary place to go. To answer Jim's question of the day, I almost always buy expensive things in person, but sometime this week I'm ordering a new Mac, and I will have that delivered because I don't want to carry it all out of the mall. I don't believe it. It's heavy. Good plan, Gary. Hi to everybody I didn't see. So here he is in his outfit. Now we're playing with this overlapping image as we've got through here, and then we'll add these different ink elements to the rest of it as well. But so I'm going to throw a really ugly drawn thumb right here, and then we'll sweep out. Now I guess you're not really going to see that because I sort of cut the image here, but that's all right. We'll draw his form here. Give him some abs. There we go. And then what was it? Spandex shorts? Good heavens. This is what happens when I let you guys design the outfits. Oh, it's too bad we're not going to get to see the shorts part of it. Okay, so we've got his grand and glorious coat. It's a weird outfit. So this is when I'm throwing together ideas, just randomly going at my sketchbook or whatever else. This is the speed that I work at. And, it's nothing. I don't be concerned about too much. It gets in the way. A new Mac. I've never actually used a Macintosh product here. It always seems so fancy. All right, so we'll continue this motif here with the really chunky cross hatching, and we'll get some black bicycle shorts. Keep this area a mystery. Yeah, 50 minutes. First part of it. Okay. Let's get so I'm chopping up the letters a little bit so as though they're on folds. Just because. Okay, so carry this over. All right. Now we'll put some of that street imagery in behind him as well. See, I should have drawn a phone box. I still can draw a phone box. Okay. Where am I at? I predict a lot of creativity in your future. Oh yeah, Gary's gonna get busy. I love it. Let's get physical. I think he's past that image. Where I wish I could remember where I got this outfit. That would have been so great. You know, we can fit that into the text. See, that says 40 milligrams of paracetamol. Okay. So I'll put right here in the image a telephone booth. It's just our little inside joke. It's our little inside joke that nobody might get but us. And put street post coming up here behind them. Just making it up on the fly and think about elements in that, you know, a cityscape and that, right? There's our city view in behind. Elements there. That's not important. So, okay. So let's get back in there with some of this ink and see what it gives us. Chris, is your pen about to take flight? Yes. Look out. Yeah. He's settling back in, Rachel. Only if he spins it real fast. Okay, so we've got this part of the composition together. I think this is a 1-page, 2-page punch, but so we're just going to put in some of this detail in the back. Now, I don't know necessarily how strong everything's going to get picked up by the transferring process. So we're just hoping for the best. Okay. There's our police box. Foot long. Foot straight. So we'll see if it transfers or not. And if not, we'll just work with it as a surface image in the first place. Not too worried. I'm covered over my hand. Should have kept that white. Slow down. Pay attention. Okay. I keep my water behind me so I don't spill it all over my desk for those that are wondering. Oh, apparently no one in Canada got any mail while I was away. Yeah, the mail was a real hassle this week recently. Bills came, but no goodies. Uh-oh. Hey, Riri, how you doing? She probably had it held. I think I was the only one who got mail. Oh, yeah. We had everything sent to Rachel's place. Six packets. There we go. And then, land. Okay. Land ho! So I got a new feature on my phone. This is exciting to no one but me. Oh, my son got offered a job and he doesn't know if he should take it. I will talk to him in a few minutes. Okay, I got a new feature on my phone. Very exciting stuff. I can actually see what my blood sugar is at any given time without having to check my arm. Woohoo! Okay, so. All right. So there's our first image. Oh yeah, right. A little bit of blue. Okay. Hold on a second. I'm so sorry. Okay. Kids. All right. Where are you? You sound like you have to catch it before you prepare. That's cool, Christopher. Thank you. Fun art. Woo, thank you, thank you. Impressed as usual. Okay. Impressed. Tachel. Catching your misspelling. Wonderful. All right, so I've got this bit of ink on here to smudge some more texture into the outfit. It's lame as far as textures go, but it's there. Just to differentiate it from the other texture. Because we haven't got a lot of diversity in texture on this side. All right. And then I think I'm going to. This is my favorite blue, by the way, if you've not guessed by now. Because despite the fact that I've used multiple different stamps and they're all the same blue. All right. Okay. All right. So there's our first part. And what am I working on? I'm working on copier paper. There it is. Move the paper over there. Okay, so here's our first image. Person discovers they're just like a famous superhero in many ways. So honestly, this is good enough for our storytelling that we could just say, listen, deny it all you want, and he tells you this fabulous story about You know, the fact that he's very similar to the local superhero in town. I mean, check out my outfit. Good enough. I mean, that's a story beat right then, like, there and of itself. I mean, we can do a second narrative where we start talking about the similarities and the alter egos and all that stuff. But I think this works structurally as a page. So we got some time. Or I can try to jelly plate this. Which would you rather? We keep drawing or we jelly plate? See if it works. This is your chance for thinking. First vote wins. For jelly plating, I gotta clean up. Let's just do that. Anyway. I have the patience of a dumb tip, don't I? Okay. So what I'm doing right now, for off camera for a sec here, is I am cleaning up the area to do some jelly plating. And I'm having a piece of cookie. And then I'll drop down the surface here. Anyways, there's our image that we did our little story from. Thank you for the book of Weird People in New York. So Corbin this morning went to the vet and ordered a checkup on his dental surgery, and he did really well. But he's upstairs resting because it was a harrowing experience. So unfortunately, no Corbin visits today, folks. So we've got, I'm going to move some stuff here, and we're going to see what we can do. So I've learned to clean my jelly plate off with baby wipes, and it has never been as pretty as it is now. So thank you for that advice. I can't remember which of you that was that gave it to me, but fantastic. Your phone keeps asking you who's calling. Does it say, just say hello? Is it me you're looking for? Anyways. Yeah, I don't mind. Okay, so we went to the big massive fair for New England State. I said, ooh, the exhibition in Toronto is a mini version. Some did not know the E in Big E meant exhibition. Oh, no. Poor Corbin, I hope he is recovered okay. Yeah, he's doing great. Wait, you're in Canada. You have excellent medical. Never mind. I'm sorry. Yeah, Corbin is my cat. Yeah, we've got great medical for pets. Okay, so I'll grab some acrylic. I've got my brayer out. Yeah, I'm this fussy that I actually keep things in the box. Secret things you're finding out about me today. Secret things. So we're going to get most of that image. Okay? I got most of that image on there, so that's good news. What color do we want to do it in? Do that red, or I've got a Christmas green. Lionel Richie reference, I heard that. What music track is playing? Lionel Richie. That's what he thinks. Just pay my Russell. Yeah, it's not inexpensive by any means for our cats, but in your mind, what music is playing in my mind? The Beatles, but a grossly inappropriate song. Actually, that's not true. What's going through my head is Hold on a second. Grabbing some paint. What's going through my head is 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I have a little more? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I love you. Just because I was listening to that. 1,200. Yeah, it's expensive. It's expensive here too. So 1,600 is if we did. We just did both cats recently. We had both cats taken in and shots and dental surgery for Corbin and medications and all that stuff, and it ended up almost $2,000. So Canadians, that's like a nickel American. Most of Christopher's references are, references. Yeah, nobody gets them, but that's okay. We're all in it together. So this is quinacridone magenta. Oh, but in French, it's magenta quinacridone. That helps a lot. It's a kind of crazy, crazy dark purple. But here we go. So I've got this little bead of it we're going to put on. Now, like I have said numerous times, my jelly plating is not the best. I'm probably putting it too thin. I'm probably not keeping it on enough. Yada da 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 da. But I've never done this sitting down before. Okay, so when I refer to the pages that I do the excess with, this is what I'm talking about. Because when I take a roller and I clean it off on this piece of paper. And that provides me with this majesty. Woo! All right. Hey, Chris, that's crazy. Cool. Say how the ship chopped the tree. So we'll see how this does. Let me switch. Let's fix this. Look at that. Ooh, isn't that pretty? So hopefully it's going to pick up some of this ink as according to this guy. But he also just did and then that transferred those. So maybe that took too long. We'll see. Either way, I'm still going to work on this piece of paper. A little ASMR for you, Rachel. I don't think it's leaving anything. We'll see. We'll see. That's how you know cleaning after brayer works, is that you can roll over the papers 2 seconds later and you don't have paint all over it. Okay, what am I missing? Nice color. I'm glad you like it. Ready to see? Wait for it. Wait for it. Are you using stencils? No. We call it rehoming our dogs and cats. Yes, I did. That's what this is. No, Rachel says thank you. It's called brayer off. You roll your brayer on paper, take off your excess paint, and then I work on that too. So like I'll keep transferring whatever paint onto this, and then I'll work on top of that as well. Okay, let's see if anything came off, and if not, that's fine. We'll work on this surface. I don't think it transferred. Well, that didn't work. That's okay. That's okay. It's fine. The reason I say that's fine is that we'll just do this. So now we've got our cool drawing, and And then we've got the acrylic on it. I'm going to let it dry for a second, and then we'll work on top of that. So the process didn't work. So I got to figure out the ins and outs of that. Maybe I need to be more immediate. Maybe I need to be working far more heavy and wet, but I'm going to try this out. I'm going to try this process a couple of times. But with the magic of modern technologies, we're going to pull some stuff out of this. I would be panicking about now for the reveal. No wasting of any beautiful colors. No, here we go. Didi says, looks cool though. Okay, so we've got our under, and Paula says looks cool. Super cool, thanks, ladies. All right, so now we've got our under image. Okay, here comes the blow dryer. It's the funniest thing I do, according to Lori. Just doing my hair over here. It doesn't need any help. I can almost hear my wife laughing in her office right now. Okay. So I've got, this is an oil-based Sharpie. It is the only oil paint that I can use. It doesn't make me sick. I'm allergic to something in the binding agents of an oil, generally of oil paint. So just putting the clouds in. I kind of like pulling those out of that dark magenta background. Hey, fingerprints for free, huh? What do we got? I'm missing stuff here. Is it slowly coming through? No. White over your base. I would have used a photocopy instead of the originals. Yeah, that's. I missed a step someplace. Pencil will transfer the image. Oh, there she is. Lori just said, "Hey, there's my dryer." She heard it from upstairs. Maybe you should have used black ink instead of blue, like a photocopy. I'm gonna try all kinds of stuff. Everybody's saying hi to Lori. My hair didn't even look wet to me. Yeah. Lori, meet Paula. She's a newbie. Paula says, "Hi, Lori." Hey, all. This is Lori, for those who might not know, the owner of the blow dryer. I don't get an inch. All right, so I'm just pulling out some of these details. What's kind of fun about this is that I can come back in over top and do different things now. But you all know, the secret truth. There's a lot of blue in that picture before you messed it up with the purple. It's magenta, Chris. Oh. Magenta. There's fingerprints on your drawing, Billy. Pretty clouds, pretty birds. Okay, so here is our guy. Action Man, whatever, I can't remember. Is there a superhero name suggested in the stream? Okay, I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff. Nice to meet you, Paula. Nice to meet you, Lori. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Spell my name however you like. There we go. Magenta Quinn looks so dramatic yet suitable to a senior superhero. There we go. and catch myself stealing items from around the house for art stuff. Now, this was even more tragic than this, Paula. I asked Lori, do you have a hair dryer? And she went, yeah, why? And I said, can I borrow it? Okay. What for? And I told her, and she went, really? Yeah. Really? Yep, because I am a macho guy. See if this blue turns out much at all. Introduce some blue back in here. See if that takes. I think the blue needs a little bit of that white to pop. We'll figure it out. I kind of like what it's done with the city, though. How it shows the sort of gray moving in and out there. But let's get a little more aggressive with. What are we at? 1 hour 15? You know what? I think we might cap this the old image off here before stream's open. Okay, so white ink, they call it white ink. So it's fairly wet, and so when it dries, it's going to do all kinds of fun little bits of business where the ink is going to move to the outside edges, ideally. I'm not being overly precious here. Just rolling with it. Chris wrote, it's too messy. Cut it out. Yeah, so I asked Lori to borrow her hairdresser or her hair blow dryer. She went, okay. And then when she realized that I'm using it, she came down and she saw me blow drying paper with it. And she went, what in the world are you doing? Which is a common thing. Because I get up to some weird business. My husband wonders when I try to recycle certain things. I like the whole effect. It's sort of popping out now. So as the white is pulling out, there'll be different levels of viscosity. So, Lori, I heard you were, Niagara on the Lake on the weekend. Should have stopped by for coffee, tea, or whatever. We'll do that next time. I was just, it's not clicking. Why aren't you clicking? I was just wondering how you're going to get the magenta quin off your arm. Oh, I'm not worried about any of that. I'm a messy man. Okay, so we're just pulling out, we're picking and choosing shapes and spaces to pull out. As we reinterpret our composition. So. And see the spattering effect from where the magenta didn't fully pick up? That's fun. So let's just continue some of that texture in here. Not really concerned about it. Find those little moments, find those little happy accidents and embrace them. Now, the background I'm putting in loose and rough and not being overly concerned about it. But our foreground, our guy, we're going to do nice, crisp, punchy white. Just pull them right up. I haven't got enough wet stuff on here. With Terp. Oh, yeah. We'll do that next time, Rachel. We were part of a whole group this weekend. Yeah, you have a whole bunch of Dutch people at your place. I don't know. Rachel says that she'll be in London for Thanksgiving. Okay, well, you get to visit the studio then. Liking how it's turning out. Yep, Rachel, I think you're going to get to come and see the studio. We'll figure this out, Rachel, okay? So I've got this white, it's fairly washed out. Not overly concerned about details or whatnot, or obviously. Okay, so that's, I'm okay with that. That's coming together fairly nice. Let's do this last little bit of lines in the streak. Get those down quick. And then it goes right into the jacket over here. So I'll start with our telephone booth. There's our city sign. Anybody want to name the street? I'm open for street name suggestions. Okay, let me see where I'm catching up. That's proof I'm an artiste. Okay. Well, Christopher is a wizard at transforming. I'm intrigued by what things I'm going to color white. Yeah, it's just picking and choosing some of that stuff and pulling it back out of the. So we've drawn it, we've layered it, but then we've pushed it away, and now we're going to pull it back up again. Yes, come visit Rachel, Lori says. It looks like a face is coming through the fog in the far right corner. Oh, that's a lot of fun. I like that. Yvonne, I see it too. Far right corner, there's a face in the fog. Oh, is this it? Is that the nose, forehead? That's a lot of fun. White acrylic craft paint. This is white acrylic calligraphy ink from Winsor & Newton that I'm using right now. Really watered out. And Yvonne, are you in Dundas, Yvonne? That's cool. I have to get a Canadian contingent here together, an Ontario contingent. Have a bunch of us meet up. That'd be fun. Okay, so I've got. Now I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to quickly put in these swiping white lines from the streetscape. Okay, we'll let those settle for a second. And then I'm going to overemphasize the whole flying up in the sky. Butterfly in the sky. I can see twice as high. That's right, reading Rainbow. You're welcome. So I'm not painting, or I'm not putting the white right into the edge, letting that little purple business peek through. It's also fairly translucent, so. Okay, so we've got this coming together. Some of that there as well. All right, so I think that leaves me with the last bit of business is the white trail around our guy. So I'll just pull some more lines into that. And then we're going to beef up that in a second as well. As I switch to the postcard. That's dramatic. You asked for a street name, Yvonne says. Dundas. Dundas it is. Truckee. Okay, so I am going to put this away. Everyone used you. All right, postcard, blue and white. I'm going to clean my brayer off. I'll probably do some shadowing. Okay. So we've got the background composition is taking some shape, and we can do a couple little bits and bobs in here. Cha cha cha. And there's our Teflon booth. Yeah, so Lori's hair dryer is now in my studio. So if she ever needs that for us going out for things, she's got to come in here and dry her hair amongst all this junk. Oh. All practically, you guys are practically next door neighbors. I think quite amazing. Oh, well, that's nice. Can hardly wait to see the finished one page of the big reveal. So the text, the sort of story comes through as we're in the process of making it, I always find. Because what you're doing with the images, you start to develop ideas for those story beats as you go. And, you know, allow that to just find its own voice, right? And in that way, each individual story, ideally, that you're putting together is going to have its own narrative that fits the sort of silliness you are engaging in the moment. That's my theory. I don't know if that necessarily works for anybody else, but that's kind of how I go. Okay, so we're getting our crazy texture in to the leopard print crazy cape coat, whatever, fur coat, whatever it is. But it also ties in this bleed effect that we have on the outside edge too now because of the uniformity of the white carrying over. So that's fun. Switch fingers. Okay, and then okay. All right, so let's go over here to our example super person and just silhouette that a little bit. Pull some of that form back out. And spin that around, sorry. See, that sort of pulls that together a little bit cleaner. And then we'll do the same thing for our view in the background. So hopefully that allows each of these pieces of images to blend together, but you could also frame enough. I see. You likely use the loose hair as scissors splits. I see. Poor Lori. She's all over London with her hair wet. In the fall, too. Your art just made me feel so much better about my typos. Oh, thank you, Miriam. A neat theory. It sounds like it would work well. Didi says, looking amazing. Thank you, Didi. Oh, Didi has to run. Thanks very much, Didi, for hanging out with us. I hope you have a great day. I used to erase and write again, but what I erased doesn't erase. It doesn't matter. You got typos. I'll try to correct them as I go, you guys. Have a good evening. Have a good evening, Didi. She says later, Tachel. No, Miriam, often my erasures are worse than the original. I could start singing the band erasure. Give a little respect. Okay, so now I'm just picking and choosing some lines in the forward composition just to give a little more solid. Now, I've had the blue Posca here thinking I might pull out some blue. I haven't used it yet because I haven't decided. Yeah, poor Lori has to live with this craziness. My eccentricities. The reason I came back and touched these areas that overlap with the lines is because I like the diffusion of it. I like it breaking through. It sort of pushes the two shapes together. Okay. So we're going to do our taxi cab in the background here now. So I put the spinning image. Okay, so there's our cab. My name is Arthur. Miriam, you're funny. The truth is, I don't have the patience to blow dry my hair. Running all the city is the way to go. Well, it is for now, for sure. Oh my. Chalk that up to yet another thing that the partners of artists have to suffer. When they say suffer for your art, they mean your partners in your blow dryers. Okay, so I think I'm okay with where these lines are here. So let's get into our guy. So pretty good with where everything is in the background, and now we've pulled out what we wanted to pull out of that. The only other thing that I was considering is taking this blue postcard, which is dramatic suspense, huh? And come back in, and just for interest's sake, making this little connecting motif of the blue line that runs throughout. Just going over our face there. And so it pushes the eye around along the top. I'll turn it around for you. So this blue line that runs through the composition now so when it's scanned, it'll sort of pull up. I'll pull it up in a second. I don't use the blow dryer or any kind of hair for years now to make my braids, and that's it. You have very long braids, Miriam. Keeping it simple. Love it. Oh, yes. When I have an event, I undo my braids. It's like I was at the beauty salon. That's almost cheating. Okay, so I'll just finish this part and I'll hold it up so you can see what I'm referring to. I'll do the same thing on the top of the cab. Okay, so that should move the, oh, I gotta finish this. Should move the eye around and unify a lot of this image in the background. Okay, so now we've got our lead character. All right, so I'll hold this up. So hopefully some of these details are going to come out. Here we go. So now we're going to move and put together the dude in the foreground. Brilliant transformation. Thanks very much, Rich. That's nice. Okay, so let's start here. It's very quiet. What's that mean? It's weird him being quiet. How's it looking? I think it's looking okay. We will wait for the page to be done. Oh, well, that's very nice. Okay, so Cookie announces it like a weirdo. There we go. So I'm bringing it to that hairline now. I'm going to come in with the blue and clean up the eyes. So the person that suggested this is named Matthew something Griffin, I think it is. So thank you, Matthew, for the suggestion for today. This has been a lot of fun, this one. I don't know if it's quite what Matthew was thinking of. Clean up that edge. So it's our first look at our guy. Okay. I miss my buddies. You've been missed, Rachel. You've been missed. I like people who talk to themselves out loud. At least they don't have to guess what they're thinking. Unless it's Christopher. He's likely thinking something totally different. It's probably true. All right, so I've got this line coming through here for the character, and then similar line as it comes through for him over here. And I'll just finish up the crazy outfit. I know you're all thinking, hey, where can I get me a coat like that? I keep my paint and water on the other side of the room for two reasons. One, so I don't spill it. Two, so I don't drink it. It's because you're not thinking when you're in your headspace and your process. And, if it's a cup shape, you're likely to drink that if that's the same size as your regular cup. So try to keep your water dish a different shape than the coffee cup you drink out of. Okay, so there's coming in now. Rich says, I always look forward to being amazed by your creativity. Oh, thanks, Rich. So we're going through these different shapes as they come together, showing the different roles in the fabric. Again, not overly concerned about perfection, just get it down. Lean into the style, the loosey-goosey style. And liberating. It's a liberating thing. Oh yeah, I think I'll finish this guy. And then when we're all set, I think this image will be all put together. We had a great time in Niagara on the Lake. Really pretty place. My sister-in-law got a solar-powered thing to put on top of your dash or wherever else, and it wiggles. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I think what I might do is take some of the white ink and maybe some blue ink. We'll see. Or maybe some magenta. Actually, probably I'll do the magenta. And throwing it over top of the garish jacket here. Just to push it back down just a little bit. Just to let that jacket know who's boss. Okay, so let's get good. You got a little Olivia Newton-John phrase there. Okay, and then we'll run around the outside of the tube top. Now I'm going to fill in those abs. All you fans of Super Bowl guys and tiger print jackets with abs. Oh yeah. Small historical item. My dad was town clerk of Niagara-on-the-Lake for 16 years. Oh, that's very cool. Hey, what's the tower in the middle of the road? What's that symbolize? Is that an old church or something, or what is that? Here at the Niagara-on-the-Lake at the first Catholic church. Is that it? It's just sort of in the center of the street there. I never went out and looked because people were constantly standing in front of it taking pictures. Oh, I had to search for Niagara-on-the-Lake, but now I know. Clock Tower is a memorial to the War of 1812 and subsequent wars. That's cool. Okay, so I had a blue postcard. There it is. Oh, I know what I need to do. Okay, so I've got a little bit of magenta, and this is going to wrap it up. 5 minutes. Okay. Add a brush. There you are. Niagara on the Lake's very, very lovely. We went to Niagara to see the falls and show some relatives, and then we stopped back in Niagara on the Lake to grab a bite to eat. And we went to the old fire hall, which is a restaurant made out of an old fire station. I don't know what that town's going to do now. They have a fire. Boy, if you need my fingerprint for access to anything, you got it with this piece, I'll tell you that. And that's this guy. Well, it's the same guy, but you know what I mean. Mwah. We'll do the same on the other side. Well, the initial project, the initial idea that we had didn't work out. But that's okay. We salvaged it and turned it into a thing. So now it's a thing. So when I scan this, I'm going to trim right along the bottom. Gone. Right. Pretty pleased with how that came together. We were reading about why not have if you're going to have a memorial plaque, why have a memorial plaque that's right in the middle of the main street? Back to the Future? There you go. We were reading about the Niagara on the Lake while dining. So much history. Now it's the clock tower. Wonder why it was in the middle of the street. Now we know. Thank you, Rachel. So cool about your dad. Niagara, one of the few places to see eating an ice cream cone, even in the dead of winter. Seems to be a thing. You're working a magic again, Christopher. Right. Thank you. So cool. Laurie, it used to be the capital of Upper Canada. Yeah, we read that. I think it had visions of a massive 2-lane highway through town instead of a quaint little village. Yeah, I can imagine that too. Either way, I like the quaint little village. It's very pretty. Okay, well, that's that. So I think if I do anything else, I'd maybe take some of this blue ink and see if I can get something to happen up here. With the sky, or who knows? But and there's a balance of it over here on this side. I don't know that that'll turn out that well, but we know it's there, and that's what counts. That came together nice and quick. So there's tomorrow's page. I'll just do the text part of it, and get this our story placed on it, and there we go. But that's an unsuccessful ink transfer idea for Jelly Blading. Then I'll have to figure out how to do that, and get that happening. But in the meantime, we've got the start of another surface to work on. And we've got today's one page visually finished, and then we just got to do the text part of it now. So that's good. Good feelings. Okay, so that's that. The suggestion: the person discovers that they are just like a famous superhero in many ways. Yeah, I love this the whole comparison thing of here I am and I'm fabulous, and you know this fabulous superhero for town. Well, look at this fabulousness. So that's fabulous. All right, so that's here's our new catchphrase for the stream. Everything's mental, experimental. See how that goes. I gotta pass that by, Lori. All right. It's a happy little accident. There we go. Mr. Ross. Oh, what are we going to do? Put some excellent trees over here? All right. So this is a lot of fun. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in and hanging out and your suggestions along the way. And I'm going to try to incorporate, I wish I could remember where I got this outfit into the text as well. So thank you for that suggestion as well, Rachel. Listen, we'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Tomorrow is 3-Prom Tuesday, and I have to come up with a page from Warhol, Swirls, and Mouse. So there you are. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I'm going to approach it from a different format tomorrow. I think I might. I tried to jumble things up this week, so with the different formats that we use. So yeah, so the next few days, let's have some fun. And I hope that, fun today. Thanks all. Miriam says, thank you, Lori, for the hairdryer. That's great. Bye, all. It's been fun. Excellent. I'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST, 11 a.m. PST. And bye for now.